too this weekend. And I think our defense is coming together. I think we found that Callie played a great second base for us, and we're getting close to getting Spencer back, although Val stepped in and did a great job at short as well. So I do feel like we feel like the pieces are coming together. And we also feel like we're not there yet. So I think that each weekend we feel like we're getting a little closer.
Yeah, and you mentioned Callie, and I was going to ask specifically, do you feel like she's making steps to winning that spot?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's done a really great job on both sides. And so I know that she's going to get the start on Thursday. She's earned that, and that's all I know right now.
Yeah. Well, can you just talk about that, maybe some of the progress she's made, from a year ago as being, just kind of a pinch runner type and finding her way into the lineup this year?
Well, Callie really can do anything on the field. She's just a really good athlete. If you watch how she moves and her instincts, she's one of our best outfielders. And we've transitioned her to the outfield last year. And so when we were kind of thin, we're looking for, someone that could step into the infield. We just kind of threw her back in there, and it's like she didn't skip a beat. She hasn't really taken ground balls probably in about a year, maybe. But that's Callie for you. I mean, she's incredibly confident, and that's really the name of the game, is knowing wherever we put you, you can handle yourself, and you're ready for that. And so I'm just really proud of her. She works, and she's really willing to do anything that we need her to do.
Okay. You said Spencer, I mean, is that still a day-to-day thing? You're just going to have to see how it goes?
Yeah, it's day-to-day, but it's looking like she'll be back this weekend. So we're hopeful for that. She's had a few really good days in a row, which is nice.
Okay. I'll let somebody else go. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Coach, a couple questions for you. Heading to my neck of the woods this week. And so heading to Virginia and JMU, you saw what they did in the Women's College World Series last year. How excited are you to head out to that competition?
Oh, we're really excited. We're excited for the entire lineup. I mean, Liberty, obviously the last time we played Liberty, they beat us in extra innings. And so we know we're going to get a battle right out of the gates. But yeah, it's a good lineup out there. Obviously JMU with what they did last year in their run, but they always play great softball. So it's going to be a good weekend if the snow holds off out there for us. I think it's just traveling with us wherever we go.
This is the first time that you've faced Maryland since you left, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you feel personally about that?
Well, I feel a lot better now that there's no ties there anymore. All the players are gone. Obviously, I have a special spot for Maryland, but it's nice to go in and play them when there's not any carryover. It's really nice.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, how just with this long road trip right before your SEC play, what are you wanting to fine tune and really get gelled together before you start with another road trip to Tennessee?
Well, first I have to say I love your shirt. It's my my favorite shirt too. So I'm a proud member of Cole's crew. So I would say, kind of the things that I started with Paula. Like I really want to see our pitching have more consistency, and I really want to see us not give away so much on defense. More than anything, I think our offense is in a great place. I want to, continue that momentum, keep carrying that through. But we really need to just clean up the defensive side altogether. So I'm hoping that I see that this weekend.
And then how the schedule played out, do you think it's important with you having all these invitationals and playing at home 3 weekends in a row that now you get to go on a road trip before you start SEC play?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that that's going to make a big difference to this team. We'll see. But it's just nice to have a different environment and challenge yourself in new ways. We get pretty comfortable when we stay home. But I would have probably been fine too, just opening up Tennessee. But it'll be good. It'll be good to get out there and just have some really good opponents that are going to continue to just prepare us for the conference part of our schedule.
And I'll finish up with this, Shanice, just how she's been pitching lately. I mean, I don't know when the last time somebody struck out 3 games in a row. So, I mean, we can get your SID to hook me up with that information, but just from watching her in the cage and then now coming out and then her drop ball just looked beautiful. I mean, what else has she kind of worked on leading up to this point?
Well, she really, after the one home weekend, she really just got back to feeling her spin a lot better and making sure that she was getting in a slot that allowed her to like really to maximize the spin. So we worked on that a lot, and then just kind of picking up, you know, we worked on that drop, and she's picked it up really easily. And so it's just giving her more tools and making her feel confident. I mean, she is such a talented pitcher. And although I know Maddie Penta had a great week, Shanice is my SEC pitcher of the week. But I just think that just watching her process get back on track, I'm just really proud of her, and just how easily she picks things up. She's literally like, I could tell her to like stand on her head and pitch, and she'd be like, all right, if you think that'll help, I'll do it. She's just that coachable and makes things so simple, and it's just really nice.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You got any other questions for Coach?
I'll throw one in. You know, you've got one more week before conference, but if you, in terms of starting conference, how prepared do you think your team is right now, and how much do you think there's still to go in this week, and then just in the practice you've got before conference starts?
Well, if we start a conference, we'd be ready. You know, I believe in this team and the ability to meet any challenge that we face. And so if we were heading to Tennessee this weekend, then we would be ready. But we're not. So we'll take these 6 games and continue to prepare for our SEC season.
And one more I want to throw out there. You mentioned the Liberty game. I'm sure them beating you on your home field last year left a little bit of a sour taste. Are y'all going into that game with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because of that, or is it just a game against an opponent like Liberty that you know what they're bringing to the table?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the players think. I know that for me, I don't like losing. So I have a catalog of teams and games that you obviously want to not redeem yourself, but you want another shot at them. You want another chance to go at Liberty and end on the winning side. So I hope that it left a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth, and I hope that they want to have another shot at them. Unfortunately, I can't get out there, and that wouldn't do well for us. So I know that I'm going in wanting another shot at them. Hopefully that spills out onto them.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, you've had to obviously juggle the schedule with some weather issues and just a lot of different things. What has that been like, making these adjustments, and how do you think the players have handled that?
I think they've handled it really well. It's just another year of softball starting, when we do. But it's interesting. I know that in weekend 1, our home weekend here, I mean, before we even took the field Sunday, I'm already worrying about the next weekend. And so those days when you're like, oh, it sure would be nice to have him coach an indoor sport where it's, you always probably start on time and it's always nice and 70, 75 degrees. But I think it just is another way of having to be resilient and having to be ready to go, and just another challenge is like, okay, well, when we get to play, we're going to be ready. If we play 1, if we play 2, if we don't play, if we play 2 days from now, it's just, we're going to be ready. And so it's, to us, I think as a staff, it's not a big deal. And so then I hope that carries over to the team of, it's just not a big deal. When we get to take the field, we're going to be ready. But it's, obviously you want to get a lot of games in. So that's a whole nother challenge, is just trying to figure out where to put those games and where to get our schedule where we feel like we need it.
Obviously, you mentioned earlier facing Maryland for the first time. You recently just played Louisville, where you also coached there. I don't know if that was like a this is your life moment there, whoever made the schedule there.
Going through my career path.
Right.
No.
But what is that like? Because you faced Oklahoma in the past too, where you coached. What is that like when you face a school for the first time that you worked there before? Does any memories bring back any memories at all?
Well, the fun thing is that it connects you again to the players that you coach. So where, that time. So, we play Louisville, and then the players that I got to coach when they were there, they're following it, and then you get reconnected and that. So, it's fun, going into Maryland, and we play Maryland, and I really like that none of the players that the coach are there, because that would, it's just like, I don't want to create that, but it's fun, because then I'll get to kind of reconnect with the Maryland girls, and they'll have a special interest of watching their alma mater and their former coach. And so it's fun when that happens. And, I think really fondly of the places that I have the privilege of coaching at. And so you always have a special interest in their success. Obviously we want to beat them, but you want them to do well. I root for them. And so it'll be a fun matchup.
Unique that you get to go to Virginia, play Liberty first, and then the JMU tournament. How did that come about? And could we see a JMU, for example, come to your place down the road, or is this like a one-off?
We'd love that. We would love that. We always just look for quality tournaments. And then once we find a tournament, if there's an opportunity to add a game somewhere in that vicinity, then we always like to do that. So it worked out really well, adding the game with Liberty on the front end of the JMU tournament. And we would love for JMU to come here. Absolutely. What a great matchup, and what a great opponent that is. So yeah, absolutely.
What's the most important thing you want to see from your team this weekend before conference play that you want to shore up?
Pitching and defense. Pitching 1, defense 2.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you have any free time in Harrisonburg, go eat a burger at Jack Brown's.
Fine, if I have to.
Do it. It's so good. It's so good. I grew up going to JMU softball clinics. I'm like so excited.
Okay, Jack Brown.
Yes,
okay.
Jack Brown's.
All right.
Get a burger. They're great.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I can do that for you. Fine.
Yeah.
I'll fall in that sword.
That's it. Both of my parents are alums, so they've been
that's
talking some
awesome.
smack this week. So
One of my best friends is an alum, and so I'm like, "Who are you rooting for?" Like, okay, you. We'll root for the Razorbacks in this one.
Yeah,
I'll take
awesome.
it.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Do we have any last questions?